Hi, gang. So right now I feel a little. I just wanted to share with you guys what I learned while I was running, and I think it really like the first part is just for you guys, and that's not true. The first part is really for me, so I remembered a decade from now. The second part is it really probably needs to be done today or in the next couple days as you get more comfortable. So if I feel right now, for instance, I just got this new ring light. Supposed to be create a better visual for you when I'm doing my Facebook Live. So it's my first time using it. I do feel like I'm getting interrogated for something, with a light in my face. But hopefully it's a better view for you guys and better production value. All right, so today's topic is it the right time? And to have any kind of good morning, Mr. McCurry. To have any hope camp's going great. To have any kind of tough conversation, and when I say tough, maybe not tough, maybe uncomfortable conversation, for you to have with your child. What are the effects of puberty? How they're going to change, right? And by the way, this is for every parent individually. Whatever makes sense for you as far as like age and what topics. But I think it's so important that there is no topic that your child's not going to go through. And wouldn't it make, at least to me, it would seem like, and I'm a little while off from this, but it would seem to me that I would rather be the first person as a mature adult to give them the information than their friends at school or their internet, or they feel some kind of shame or whatever. I'd rather be the first person to influence them, right? Like one of my business ideas is always get there first, right? Like if I have a new idea, I want to do it right now. And that might not work, I know that, but in business, I feel like I want to get there first. And in our martial arts, we always try and pre-frame our students for us, which means we always talk about their next belt, how they're going to feel when they earn their black belt, right? To kind of like put them in that right frame of mind. As a parent, I hope for my child that I can get there before anybody else does about whatever effects there's going on with his or her body or their thought process, or, really, I feel like puberty is just like an easy way to do it. But you can also do it, the day before kindergarten. Hey, this is going to happen at school today. This is what bullying is. This is how you might feel. You might want to do this, but here's something better that you could do. Instead of them coming home and telling you and already have gone through it and feel scared and shame for something that everybody goes through, right? So I'm sure there's probably, if you just think about like, all right, what could happen today in kindergarten? All right, what could happen today in first grade? What could happen today in second grade? And kind of go through it and then sit down and just have that conversation. And again, if you never grew up like this, you might be, I can't have that conversation. Maybe your child's older. This is what it's like, with money, and your friends might have more things than you, but that's okay because we're a family that saves. We're a little more fiscally responsible. Don't fall for that. Let's read this book together. Whatever the topic is. So that's my kind of, hi Kirk. That's hi Anya. That's like the first thing I want to talk about. Is it time to talk about now? Now I want to share with you what I know for a fact for my action karate people and my other martial arts friends around the world is a time to talk about now, and that's quitting. There is no greater... hold on for 1 second, team. I think somebody's here.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was like, the door's open. Where is everybody?
Yes, sir. I don't have a mask, so don't get...
No, that's right.
And little Facebook Live video.
Oh, you're doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to pick up Mark's nunchucks.
Hold on for 1 second.
And if you have to do that, I'll come back.
I'll be back in a second, guys.
I'm sorry.
I have no idea where they even are. Did you have an appointment with Mr. Dag?
I do not. Tell you what, if you're...
I have no idea. Zero idea where they are.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
They might not have been. I
I know that they said they would be here this week. I figured I'd come back.
All right.
Don't worry. You're in the middle of something. I apologize.
No idea. All right, get back right.
Okay. Go ahead.
See you. All right, guys, so we just had a dad stop by. If you're part of Action Karate, we're doing nunchucks all this next quarter or this next semester, so we're super excited. I apologize. I had to leave everybody for a second, but I didn't want to forget anything. Oh, my goodness, we're down to 3 people now. How often do people leave in the middle of Facebook Live? It doesn't matter. No editing. We just go live uncut. So here is the part that has to happen now, and I'm sure your instructors hopefully will remind you to do this. But we're about, normally going from one grade to the other is sometimes traumatic, not for really the children, but really for the parents, right? Because there's new homework, new time schedules, new everything. And we find every year some people quit karate because of it. They come to us and they say, "Oh, you don't understand. Third grade is so hard, right?" I mean, really, they just need to get past the first few months. This year, I can only imagine it's going to be much harder, right? And if it's overwhelming for the parent, it's overwhelming for the kid. Either way, we need to make sure we have the conversation now, like, hey, we're about to start blank grade. We're probably doing it virtually. There's going to be all kinds of stress in our lives, right? Like, you're not getting rid of your kids anymore for, 6 hours. Now you're going to be doing it, which is going to just bring up more issues and more things. Let's have the conversation now about how quitting is not a good idea. You quit one thing, you quit many things, and that's really the reality of it, right? Like, once you develop, like any other muscle, you develop the quit muscle, other things are acceptable to quit. And that's what we really, really want to avoid. So we need to sit down with our children now and say, hey, when school starts, karate's going to get tougher. We're going to try and get on a schedule. All the answers. I don't have to give you the answers to this. The key is to have the conversation with your children and your spouse and say, we need to get through our, we set a goal for martial arts. Maybe we wanted to get better listening skills, better focus. But either way, this is the time. This is so great. The number one ingredient for your child's success is grit. That's it. Number one. And this, you have only so many opportunities in our life to really teach them. This season's going to be it, and take advantage of it. So the idea is to preemptively do it. So when there's a kicking and screaming match, I don't want to go on Zoom. I don't want to go to class. I don't want to wear a mask. I'm so tired from school. And the thing is, you're going to be tired and you're going to be frustrated. You're going to think, oh my goodness, I don't want to pay tuition anyway. I don't want to drive there. I don't feel like getting on this camera. The internet kicks us off. The kid that barely tries. Like, all that stuff is going to go through your mind. Totally fine. Let's get ahead of it now. I'm doing it with you. You do it with them. And guess what? Once you get to maybe October, November, you'll get into your rhythm. You'll be fine. I've never met a single person ever, and I've been teaching professionally for 26 years. I've never met a single person where I meet them outside of regular classes, and they were a former student. They go, "Oh, Mr. Brenner I really love training. I'm so happy that I quit." Nobody ever. They're always happy there in their black belt above and beyond, and help them with their careers later in life, and they learned how not to quit, and they learned how to get through things. So now is the time to pre-frame, to get ahead of it, to get on it, get there first with these conversations. So really, it's ideal to have a conversation, figure out like every year what your child is going to go through next, and then get ahead of it. But right now, this season, it's going to be tough for their martial arts training, and teaching them grit during this is going to be huge. So write in the comments below the next thing you're going to get there first on with your children, what you're going to teach them next. And it's a conversation. Most times you're uncomfortable with the conversation. They don't know the conversation. They're not really uncomfortable with it. For me, I was Google searched a little bit first to kind of find out like the origin of the word. If we're going to talk about why people are using the F word or something, where that comes from, like demystify it. Make it like, this is why people use it. This is how it's used. This is inappropriate. This is how we're not allowed to use it in our family, right? Like, there's no topic that is inappropriate for you to make sure that you're discussing with your children. And for the action karate people, and really not even un-action karate people, it doesn't matter. The number one ingredient that you can teach your child in life, the number one, according to Angela Duckworth, is grit, and that's to be able to fall down and get up. That means not quitting. That means delayed gratification. So please, 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 please get on it. Bye, guys. Write down below what you're going to teach next, including grit.